Our Ideal Society by Bruce, Aaron, and Vincent. The perfect society does not exist, as there are always benefits and drawbacks to everything. Our ideal society aims to balance an idyllic ideology of perfect equality with realism by considering the repercussions of every element of a society. An ideal society would operate around a mixed economy. Other methods, such as a traditional economy or a pure command economy, may be more effective in maintaining consumption uniformity, as well as maximizing profit for the state, but it is unrealistic and unfavorable for the consumers. In the ideal society, government intervention is limited, and only a quarter to a third of economic activity is by the government. The ideal society would lean more towards a pure market economy, though not completely to avoid the repercussions of completely entrusting production to private firms and businesses. To mitigate said repercussions, laws would be enacted to enforce property rights, minimum income, and prevent monopolization by monitoring conspiring and price fixing. Ideally, markets would follow a monopolistic competition structure, where markets aren't dominated by a single or a few firms. Instead, many private firms endorse their respective products, each similar but differentiable. The ideal society would utilize aspects of all four recognized systems of healthcare. Mainly, the society would use a national health insurance model, or single payer national health insurance, where the government pays for all medical procedures and the suppliers are private. The ideal society would incorporate aspects of the beverage model that operates under the idea that health is a human right. Initially, the government covers most of the payment for operations and treatment, which could also lead to long wait times due to the accessibility of medical treatment. To avoid the delays, the society would also need to borrow from the Bismarck model, where health insurance is more focused towards contributing citizens and also supplied by private firms. Patients are to be categorized by urgency and, in some cases, ableness to contribute to determine a just queue. Welfare programs are important in an ideal society to provide for citizens unable to care for themselves. The ideal society would need to establish something similar to the Veterans Health Administration to provide coverage for veterans. Medicaid, Medicare, and CHIP, or Children's Health Insurance Program, are also necessary for the elderly, children, and individuals or families with low incomes. Other welfare programs, such as the Supplemental Security Income, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and Temporary Assistance to Needy Families, Housing Assistance, and Earned Income Tax Credit, are also beneficial to low income households. These welfare programs are important to ensure that all citizens can enjoy a certain quality of life, and an ideal society would not be able to function without them.
How our society plans to handle diversity. We will encourage schools and offices to include diversity and different people from ethnic backgrounds, as well as different sexualities. We will educate people about diversity and different races and show them that all people are created equal, all people are the same. How we will handle dissent. Dissent is met with discussion in environments and encourage the information and ideas better than ones currently in place. How leaders are selected. Leaders are selected similar to the U.S., basically exactly like the U.S. We're going to have a democratic government. Leaders are selected by the people, and the people will decide whoever the best candidate is, pretty much. Our principles for the government, our government principles are similar to the U.S., to be honest with you, and equality of all people, faith in majority rule, equal in measure, and majority rights or minority rights. And we would also have freedom of people, freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and petition. So basically exactly like the U.S. Those are our principles. Those are what we're going to be going by. Those are our guidelines for our society. And education. Education is free for all people, no matter race or gender. Private schools and colleges are optional. In our society, we will have savings of government funds for each student in order to pay for higher education. So basically, as you enroll in grade school, you will earn money that will accumulate as you progress in grade school, and will be accessible after grade school to cover 50% of higher educational costs. Now on to the questions. What about scholarships? There is no need because the government pays for 50% of your fees. What if you choose not to attend higher education? That might be a question you have. Then you have the options to hold it for future kids if you have any, or you can sign it off to another person. You can hand it off to another person to pay for 100% of their higher education. So basically, their 50% plus your 50% after you sign it off to them will cover their entire higher education cost, pretty much. Doing this takes away, the only reason we're doing this is because it takes away from having a lifetime of student loans that you have the burden of paying off in time, pretty much. We don't want our citizens to have student loans that take forever to pay off. And yeah, this makes more sense to have it anyways.
In our perfect society, laws will be made from a team of 25 people that are part of the government. This group has full control over all the laws made and has the right to alter and change existing laws. Enforcement and punishment will not be too harsh. Crimes will be split up into three different severities based on the level of crime committed. Minor level 1 crimes, such as vandalism and harassment, will result to a warning. If the same level crime is committed, a $4,000 fine will be sent out to their bank and will be automatically paid without the consent of the person who committed the crime. Level 2 crimes, such as burglary, rape, murder, will automatically result to a 15 to 30-year prison sentence, and as well as a $10,000 fine. If they're unable to pay the fine off, they would have to work at the prison until the debt is paid. Lastly, level 3 crimes such as terrorism, mass murder, and acts against the country will result in a death penalty. Entertainment will consist of different leagues of teams competing against each other for a $5 million cash prize. Sports such as baseball, football, and basketball will be hosted on live televisions and as well as stadiums where viewers can enjoy the sport. There will be bets held where people can invest money on which team they think will win. Sports games will last for 2 months until the games are over. When the competition ends, all teams will undergo training for next year's competition. Marriage. In our society, we have no restrictions held on marriages. We do not discriminate towards different sexualities, same sex, or other demographics, as long as both parties consent towards the marriage. Official marriages will be sent and documented by the government. Legal age for marriage would be both parties being the age of 18. Anyone under the age of 18 cannot be married until they are no longer a minor. The benefits of marriage is that the government will provide a slight tax reduction of 10%, as well as free marriage counseling if needed. We believe that all these qualities will make our society long-lasting and successful in the long run. Thank you for watching.